This was fun.
It was truly an honor to share the stage with you.
So hot! And respectful.
I don't know about you, but when a well-put-together film decides to be vague about specific details, I assume it's for a reason. That's why the fate of the Saja Boys after the end of K-pop Demon Hunters continues to pique my curiosity. Sure, we see them fight Huntrix at the end of the film, and they even get hit by their weapons, but there's no epilogue, no definite sign that they're dead, and no acknowledgement that their boy band has disbanded forever. Unlike Jinu, who has a final goodbye with Rumi, it's harder to tell what's happening with his fellow demons. Not to mention, they had an entire stadium full of fans that watched Huntrix fight the Saja Boys, and none of them looked disturbed by the battle in front of them. There are so many variables about demons and what happens to them after they fight hunters, and in today's video, I'll use that as evidence to prove that the Saja Boys are still alive.
A hunter who's part demon?
Number 1. They were sent back. In most stories where heroes have to hunt down and defeat demon-like characters, they usually do so by killing their enemies in the most efficient way possible. However, Huntrix never takes down the Saja Boys in any particularly violent manner, and when they do discuss defeating them, they refer to it as sending them back. The scene that comes to mind is when Rumi decides to battle the Saja Boys at the Idol Awards, believing it will be the best place to fight for the fans. Mira and Zoe agree with her plan while enthusiastically planning to send their enemies back to the depths where they belong. Granted, Bobby's presence in the room limited what they could say, but even planning to send them to the depths is going a bit far for musical competition. A fact that he also points out is that, to him, the Saja Boys might be their most significant competition, but they're still professionals. So, back to Huntrix. If they're not afraid to call the Saja Boys demons or imply they belong in a hellish dimension in civilian company, what stops them from planning to kill the Saja Boys? They could have phrased it ambiguously, after all. They're out to kill the Saja Boys' career, they're going to kill their dreams of winning the Idol Awards and topping the charts, etc., etc. The word choice stood out to me, as if Huntrix knows that hunting demons on Earth doesn't provide a permanent solution. Instead, they might use their weapons to remove the demons and then count on the Hunmoon to contain them.
And the whole moon is gone.
It is. So we can make a new one.
Number 2. The Hunmoon Seal. K-pop Demon Hunters has a lot of lore. There is tons of information to take in at once, but one of the key things we hear time and again is the importance of the Hunmoon and its golden seal. The Hunmoon is a magical barrier that the first hunters created to trap Guima and his followers inside another realm. In the centuries that followed, generations of hunters have dedicated their lives to following in their footsteps. Every trope of hunters spends years building their musical careers so they can inspire their fans through their music. In doing so, they will eventually give a performance so moving that they'll turn the Hunmoon gold, a feat that strengthens the Hunmoon and ensures Guima can't escape. When we first meet Huntrix, they're at the height of their career and have just finished a world tour. When they give their last performance of the tour, they witness the Hunmoon start to shimmer gold, which means they're close to completing their ultimate goal as hunters. It also prompts Rumi to release their single, Golden, early. They wrote the song to represent the turning point in their lives where they finally realize their purpose and hope to seal the Hunmoon. Of course, we know that things don't always go according to plan, and Huntrix doesn't get the chance to perform Golden live because of Rumi's voice. It only gets worse from there, with the Saja Boys abducting fans and helping Guima rise to Earth. In the end, Rumi's secret breaks up their trio and the Hunmoon falls apart. Guima nearly succeeds in taking over the entire world until Huntrix bands together at the last second to create a new Hunmoon, one that is iridescent instead of golden. Rumi told Celine she didn't want to protect the original Hunmoon, but if the new one doesn't turn gold, how do we know if it's working appropriately or sealing the demons inside? Worse yet, did the hunters see how this new Hunmoon works? If not, the Saja Boys and other demons could easily return to Earth without the hunters noticing.
The Golden Hunmoon. And now, that duty falls to you.
Number 3. Vanishing or teleporting. Speaking of going places without someone else noticing, what's with demons and their ability to teleport within the blink of an eye? Is that a skill that everyone receives when they arrive in Guima's realm, or is that a power that Guima lends to his followers when they're hunting humans? We never get a straight answer to this, but we witness demons coming and going numerous times throughout the film, sometimes in the blink of an eye. Don't get me wrong, this ability is one of the coolest traits that demons have, and it does give them an edge against Huntrix, but it's also worthy of suspicion. You see, when demons receive injuries or are attacked by a hunter, they don't bleed or scream in pain. There's no indication that Huntrix has harmed their enemies during the film's numerous fight scenes, and when they do land a blow on a demon, they vanish before Huntrix's eyes in a cloud of smoke. There's never any evidence of a demon being there or any sign that they experienced an injury. It looks like the demons teleport at the last second. As Huntrix lands a blow on them, they might return to the demon realm where their allies can patch their wound and help them live to fight another day. Their ability to teleport also leaves behind a cloud of smoke, and the two events look strikingly similar. Of course, it's also possible that demons can't die unless their souls are destroyed. After all, most of them have already died or given up their mortal lives to serve Guima, so dying a second time might be impossible.
I could have told your friends what you are, but I didn't, did I? Because they don't know.
Number 4. Recurring demons. In fact, we see a few recurring demons throughout the film who definitely shouldn't return to Guima, yet they appear unscathed during their audiences with him. A prominent example of this is evident at the beginning of the film. Huntrix finds themselves on a hijacked plane with the first demon they encounter posing as their flight attendant. When the two groups start to fight, we receive an outside view of Huntrix slamming the demons against the plane windows, and given the amount of attacks we see play out, they leave no demon unscathed. If any demons do survive the encounter, the plane breaks apart and they fall into the audience, where Huntrix continues fighting them one by one. Yet the flight attendant appears in the demon realm shortly after, where she timidly seeks an audience with Guima. To no one's surprise, he's not forgiving about her failure and moves on to the next plan, which requires trusting Jinu with the Saja Boys. Ironically, that flight attendant might have foreshadowed the Saja Boys' return in the sequel, which might have been her character's entire purpose to begin with. The same goes for Guima. Rumi struck him down with her enhanced powers, but that doesn't mean she permanently defeated the Lord of Demons. Instead, it seemed like she weakened him enough to force him behind the Hunmoon. That might be what their weapons are for. Since they come from the Hunmoon, they might be for trapping demons rather than harming them.
There once was a mighty demon king. Stop me if you've heard this one before.
I know they didn't have a massive role in the overall story and that they acted as support to Jinu's character, but the Saja Boys still became prominent performers, and their deaths would have sparked a reaction from their fans. They also acted as secondary antagonists for Huntrix to defeat, so if they return to the demon world with Guima, that means they're reserved for future films and projects. Any of the Saja Boys might return, not as a K-pop star, but as a vengeful demon determined to prove themselves after their last defeat. That way they wouldn't remain one-note villains with only a handful of lines, but instead become fully fledged characters for the fans to enjoy. Do you think that the Saja Boys will return, or is their story complete? If they did return, what would you like to see them do next? Feel free to share your ideas in the comment section down below.
My family and I live in the palace grounds. Our bellies were finally full, our clothes clean. We were happy.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
I let you keep that voice, Jinu, and you dare to mock me with it?